welcome to Pretty Little Liars, the after show here on the theStreamtv fan show network. I'm your host, Sinead de Vries, and I am joined tonight by my pretty little talkers. What a great episode of PLL tonight. A lot of answers, we hope, but we will see. Over here, I got Ashley Mova, Meghan Lamontagne,
hey guys,
and Stephanie Gray.
Hello.
All right, you guys, so first things first, we have to get right into it.
Because there's no time.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff to talk about.
Like, believe it or not, we talk a lot. I know it's hard to believe, but we have to get through things immediately. So first of all, let's throw this out there. Charles Dilaurentis is dead, according to Mr. Dilaurentis in the preview for next week. And up until this moment in PLL time, Jason has never thought about Charles other than his imaginary friend growing up. What do you guys think?
Lies. I can't handle it. Everything is a lie that you just said.
Okay, so that's a theory. That's one theory.
No, I think it was way too significant. Jason, when he was bombarded by Spencer, was like, Charles Dilaurentis, doesn't ring a bell, and there's like, Charlie. Like, he was remembering, he was reflecting.
Yeah.
And I definitely think, like, we were all talking, like, backstage about, like, we think that Jason and Allie were brainwashed. Like, we know what the Dilaurentises are capable of.
Yeah. I think that just like Mrs. D brainwashed Allie, she's like, there's one dress, not two dresses, there's one dress. They did the same thing to Jason, so he thinks that his real brother was actually imaginary. And I believe what Mr. D was saying, that Jason, I think they were implying, killed his brother.
That circulated in my mind.
I think he killed his brother. Here's my theory. I think he killed his brother and that they tried to cover it up, but really, Charlie was not dead. And then Mrs. D, like you were mentioning, shoved him in Radley. So then the question is, why did they not want to make him be alive again, and why they still want to pretend like he's dead even after she found out he's alive?
I agree.
But why would you send Charles to Radley over Jason if he's the one that tried to kill Charles? I think that Charles got sent away, but I'm not really sure what the reason is.
Right.
They would send Jason,
Maybe
I think,
we're
if
thinking
anything.
Jason went to Radley then.
I still think Charles did. I think there's just something off with Charles. Like, maybe he, had the transgender things, and for whatever reason, Mrs. D, like, keep him dead. Keep him dead.
Maybe, but if that's the case, then I do not believe that Mr. Dilaurentis knows that Charles is alive. Like, if that's the case, I feel like if anybody's lying here, it's Mrs. D, but bitch is dead, so we're never
exactly,
gonna know.
and she's dead because
Sinead
she knows the answer.
Right, Sinead and I were talking about this too. Okay, if Charlie is Jason's twin, then Charlie also has to be the son of Mr. Hastings.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mr. Hastings, I really honestly think like the person that's is involved in the Hastings family, because Mr. Dilaurentis maybe did think that Charlie was dead.
Yeah.
Or thought that Charlie was sent away, but maybe because Mrs. D and Mrs. Hastings or Mr. Hastings have those secrets together. Guys, there's so much going on in my head.
I know.
I'm like not even making sense.
Can we tie it all back into Bethany and Radley, though? Because we were talking about earlier that we think possibly, or I think, that Charlie and Bethany became friends in Radley.
Right.
Charlie is talking a bunch of smack about Mrs. D to Bethany, saying, my mom locked me up in an insane asylum when I'm really alive. And that's why Bethany pushed Mrs. D, who she thought was Mrs. D, over the edge, but in reality it was Marion, because
they are twins.
so alike.
Have we confirmed that? Are they really twins?
That's
another theory.
We haven't talked about Mrs. Kavanaugh since Mr. Hastings and Mrs. D tried to shut that down. Remember?
Right.
And you're so right about Mr. Hastings, because there's so much left with Mrs. Kavanaugh, and I feel like the only person that has answers that's alive is Mr. Hastings, because Mrs. D obviously had answers.
Right.
You guys, I literally feel like there has to be a really, really good reason that Mrs. D was on the board at Radley, and I can't imagine her wanting to be on the board other than having a child
in Radley
at the institution.
Yeah.
So if Charles is alive, I believe that Mrs. D lied to Mr. Dilaurentis. I believe him. Like, I believe him. I believe Jason. I don't know how it would make any sense for Jason all of a sudden to say now,
because
who
he's
is
starting
Charles?
to get
Here's a theory. Sorry. Oh my gosh, you guys, are your brains like
I
going
know,
absolutely bonkers
totally.
right now? Because I can't even make sense. I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, these words don't make sense. But what if? Oh God, Meg, don't lose it. Keep it. Okay. What if Bethany was a childhood friend of Jason and Charles?
Yeah.
And when maybe Jason, Bethany, and Charles were all like playing one day, and something happened to Charles. Hence why Bethany went to Radley.
Right.
Charles is dead and Jason was brainwashed.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I could
No, but
totally
then-
see that way more
And that's
than
why
anything
why
else.
she wanted to buy a dress for Bethany, because she feels bad about everything that this child has gone through or something traumatized, but like she didn't want Mr. DeLaurentis to know. Like, do you get what I'm
Right, because maybe Mr. DeLaurentis wanted to put Charles behind them. Let's tell Jason that his imaginary friend, right, is his actual brother, because we've already lost one son, like we cannot lose another one. So let's just like completely brainwash him, trick him, let's make him believe that this person doesn't even exist, right? And he falls for it because they're kids. But maybe Bethany just was so mind effed that she had to go to Radley, and maybe that's Mrs. D's connection to Radley.
But why would
because-
Bethany want to push over Mrs. D / Toby's mom? Are we explaining that in that or no?
Because I guess we could look at it so many different ways. Like, I don't think Bethany pushed Mrs. Kavanaugh necessarily. I feel like that's just a theory. But
Okay.
according to Bethany's drawings, right, someone else had pushed Marion. She had watched Marion.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
Okay, right.
Who pushed Marion? I have no idea. Who Marion is, I have no idea, you guys. Let's be real.
I guess what doesn't make sense to me, okay, for me right now, the only person that would really make sense to be I'm not saying it is, but just in my head right now, would be
Ezra.
No, Mr. Hastings, because
What?
No, I mean I did think it was Ezra
What
for a while, but I
told
don't think
us?
it. But I think Mr. Hastings, because think about it, this Charlie was his child, and then
I would hate that.
these are his only memories of his
would hate
No,
child.
that.
I totally get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
A parent would have all the knowledge of.
Why he would want to torment the other girls though is beyond me. That's where I
But
don't
you guys,
get the
okay,
connection.
I don't think that the writers of PLL would kind of betray us as fans because,
Exactly.
you know, the first in the season premiere we got #Charles is A, and I think that they're really going to live up to that.
Yeah.
You know, I think that
I don't
kind of
believe
fans
the-
would be
okay.
pissed if.
Okay, I'm sorry. You don't think that the PLL writers would betray us?
I was just gonna say that too. I was like,
not,
such a
yeah,
big-
that was a
Oh yeah,
big
because
deal.
the #Ezra is A and #
No,
Toby
it's
is
different.
A.
They had an
that?
entire
I don't-
season premise based
Yes,
on the
they
fact
did.
that Charles is
#Ezra with the big giant A. If Charles
Yes.
is A, if
no,
Charles is
it
A,
wasn't that big of a deal.
If Charles is A, you guys, then Charles is somebody that we know, and it's somebody
Yeah, I
acting
believe
as
that
A.
we
Like they
know.
took on Charles's name. And Charles is not going to be a freaking stranger that we meet for
Right,
the first time,
exactly.
who just happened to get
He's not a
sent away to
stranger.
Radley.
And
Right.
that's why I feel like it's a parent giving a voice to a child that can't, or a child that he misses, or all these
Oh, you're
memories.
so poetic.
I know.
You know?
That's deep.
Yeah.
No, I think Charlie, aka Charles DeLaurentis, is A. And I think there's going to be a reason that A is somehow called Charlie, whether it's a nickname or whatever. But I really do think an individual who goes by Charlie and possibly another name that we already know will be A.
But then we would have to know who
Yeah,
Charles
I
is,
completely
right?
agree.
Then we would have to know who Charles is.
Right.
Yeah,
I think we do.
exactly.
Okay, so
We'd
then
have-
my
yes.
only thing that gets me about that is like, if we know who Charles is, then everybody else in Rosewood knows who Charles is.
Right.
And then how has it gone so many years with them going to Rosewood or being connected to the family and nobody knowing
Because it's a
that
TV
this is
show.
their,
Yeah.
that this is their long
How?
lost son? You don't think that Mr. D or Mrs. DeLaurentis would eventually find
No, I
out that
think
their long lost son
They do know,
is
but it's
in
just
Rosewood?
like, no, they know it's their long lost son, but it's like this big mystery that they, not a mystery, I'm sorry, not mystery, it's this big lie, this big cover up.
And
Little
you know,
liars,
the thing is
you
that
know?
Mrs. D, I think
Pretty
put
Little
Charles-
Liars, you know? It's lies.
Mrs. D put
Lies.
Charles away, and Mr. Hastings is the dad. And, you know, he has this whole new family, so he kind of doesn't really want to talk about Charles all that much.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. DeLaurentis doesn't really have, you know, those parental rights. So he's not going to call the hospital and be like, yo, where's my son at? Because you don't really have those legal rights to that son because he's not really yours.
The only thing that doesn't make sense to me are the mannequins. There was a mom and a dad and a little boy and a little girl. It's like, well, if these were memories.
And a crib. And there was a crib in the corner.
Oh, next to the family.
Right, but like we're supposed to believe that there's a mom and a dad and two little boys and a crib.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And,
And that crib, somebody had posted this a while ago and they were so right, but the crib that we saw in the season finale was the same crib from the children's ward at Radley.
yeah, that's so
Oh,
interesting.
yeah,
I know,
Someone
yeah.
pointed that out.
I
know-
I believe that because I think that Charles got sent away maybe when he was younger. The crib representing you being young.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe,
It's symbolic.
You know how Allison's crazy story about like the two twins and one of them kills the other? Like
Emphasis on the
maybe
crazy.
Charles was the one who was crazy, and maybe Charles tried to kill Jason, or maybe Charles tried to kill his sister. And
Yes,
maybe he's the
queen.
evil one.
Yes.
No, but then it wouldn't make sense. Then it wouldn't make sense for Allie's dad.
so good about myself.
That wouldn't make sense though about Allie's dad saying to Jason, like, "Don't you talk to me after what you put this family through." That makes
was a
me
huge
think
line.
It's a huge line.
Yeah, because maybe he blames Jason for why Charles left. You know? Maybe he blames Jason because maybe they sent Charles to Radley and Charles was believed to have died at Radley. And maybe he never died. Maybe Mrs. D knows he never died.
But what does that have to do with Jason being
Because
mad?
if Charles was crazy or Charlie was insane or whatever, a little kid, and he's trying to hurt Jason, right? Or he's super jealous of Jason for whatever reason,
his dad,
and
like,
then he has
blames
to get sent away, then maybe Mr. D blames
Yeah,
Jason. Like
I get
he's
it. That would be
resentful
twisted
towards
and effed up, but
Jason.
I get
Like
it.
he feels like resentment towards him because
Okay.
he's like, well, you're the reason. Okay, like Charles wasn't accepted in this family because he didn't like you and like
No,
you guys.
you wouldn't want to blame your child for
I don't
that.
think
That's
so,
kinda
but, like,
screwed
that's a little.
up.
I think that's pushing it a little. I get where exactly what
Yeah,
you're saying, but
yeah.
I feel like I don't feel like that's true.
I mean, yeah, it would be very hard to believe.
Okay,
but
it's a possibility for sure.
I do believe that Charlie went to Radley. Whether or not he died after that is a whole different story.
Yeah, right.
But I 100% mark my words. Charlie went to Radley, and there's a reason. Like he's got to be psycho, you guys, right?
Yeah,
This
totally.
should be called the theories episode.
And I think that there's a
Oh my gosh, I
huge,
know, we're-
huge thing behind Mr. Dilaurentis saying, "Don't talk to me" or something about that way about what you put this family through.
Right,
I think
yeah.
that means something huge. I just don't know exactly what it is yet, but we will find out.
If it was all Jason's fault, though, you guys, like I just don't know why they would try to trick Jason. You know, I just don't know why they would try to trick Jason. Like that's a very good point.
And I know
why
we haven't
Jason?
I know we really haven't touched on Andrew yet, which we will, but I just think tonight was a big episode basically showing us that Andrew, I mean, I don't think is Charles or A because first of all, he was released, am I getting ahead?
No, that's the next topic,
Then, okay,
so it's fine.
so he was released after that video was sent to their phones where he's like whoever A is in the room.
Right.
Right. The
Our
only
little
reason,
baby Andrew.
The only reason oh my God, yes, his random accent that comes out of nowhere. He comes out of jail suddenly. He's
Hashtag
Southern.
bitter Andrew.
Hashtag he's Southern.
Aria, I spent days looking for you.
Hashtag Megan
I was
loved
supposed
it.
to be your hero.
But you guys, the only reason I don't think Andrew is Charles is because they're really forcing us to go that way, and we've kind of learned our lesson with that. But it would really all make sense if Andrew was Charles.
Of course it would, and that's why he's not.
And with the phone thing with
The video.
I think that him and Jason could kind of be a team. And what if Jason was, next to Sara Harvey and like with her, like next to her with that knife, and he was doing that to cover their tracks.
I actually just thought of a theory about that. Remember when the girls like came back in and they were looking for Sara and then they undid the bed and there was like a bunch of pillows?
Yeah.
Like, did we get a good look at, was Sara really in the bed or was it like a blonde wig or something? What if Sara
about that.
made the video because she was like, she's psycho and she wanted the girls to come back?
Oh, I love that.
I love when I get light bulbs
I
during the
love
show.
that.
Yeah, because then if Sara was in the bathroom, then who made the pillows? Like A just like went behind her and then hid and then waited for her to get in the shower and then made the pillows in the bed and
I
then
think
ran
Sara
away.
did it. I
No,
think that
she-
was
Sara
Sara
made the pillows.
I think Sara
That's
made
what
the
I'm
pillows.
saying- that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that would make so much more
Exactly.
sense than her not. Like,
Because I think she's needy. She doesn't want Emily to go anywhere. She wanted the girls to come back.
I guess we'll get to that,
before
but-
we get to how crazy she is, now we know Andrew is adopted, right?
Yes, huge.
Yes.
And I believe Andrew. I really do.
I do too.
I do believe him.
How can you not believe him with that southern
with
accent?
that southern
know.
accent.
With
There's
that southern
something.
accent. No,
I think
There's
PLL
something about
is
a
good
southern accent that
about-
just makes you want to believe something.
Yeah,
He's
but
got a lot
I
of
think
conviction.
PLL, I know this is getting a little too like overanalyzing, but I really do feel like PLL purposefully makes it a little bit of bad acting when someone's lying. And I really feel like that was an Emmy-worthy performance, Andrew Campbell, and I really think he was telling the truth.
I don't know if I believe
Yeah.
that because didn't we see Detective Bad Perm with the box of
Yeah,
stuff
his diary.
and reading his diary?
I forgot
think
about
that was
that.
his though. Like, I mean, That's just too easy. He didn't
And then
write
why
that.
was he near the house?
He was set up, you guys.
When
Somebody
they went
set Andrew
inside
up.
Mona's house.
He was
why
set
was he
up, or
near
he was
the house?
protecting
Because he, like, I believe
Because he was looking out for Aria.
Yes, I believe that he was
Hovering over her.
actually, yes, because he's crazy.
If that was my like husband of 50 years and I saw him on random corners, I'd be like, babe, what are you doing here?
Yeah, so would I. I'd be like, okay, I
You're
understand you want
suffocating
to
me.
protect me, but let's calm
much.
down a little bit. I do believe that, though. Like, the whole reason he was listening in, like, maybe he was really onto something. Maybe he thought he had cracked it, right?
Yeah.
And he went out to save the day and to be the hero and to show Aria, I am your southern little hero, like whatever, okay? I don't know why he's southern all of a sudden, but maybe that's why. But then what goes along with that, then...
What goes along with that?
I'm gonna talk like this probably for like the next like 7 episodes, you guys. What goes along with that then is that, shoot, I lost
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry.
All right, do the next topic. Do the next
Okay,
topic.
he
We're
was
running out of
listening
time.
to
were
their
saying-
phone conversations. Why do you have all that equipment, weirdo? You're just a high school
Shoot,
student.
what was I gonna
Oh,
say?
I'm
It was
sorry,
so
girl.
good.
I'm sorry. Okay, you were saying what goes along with that. What goes along with that?
Are you trying to spark my memory? That's just making it worse. I
will
don't
come back
remember.
to you.
It'll come
It will
back
come
to me in
back
a
to you.
minute.
All right.
We can switch gears though and talk about Sara Harvey and what the
guys.
hell is up with her.
I had this theory. If you cut off all her hair, she'd look like a British man. Mean Girls!
True.
And
Girls,
it
hashtag
fits,
Mean Girls.
it fits perfectly
Hashtag Mean
because
Girls.
she has an accent too, right?
She does have an accent.
What is that accent?
I think, can you guys
What
look this
is
up for us?
that?
I think that she, in real life, must be from
Yeah.
somewhere that's not
But
America.
why would they choose
Yeah.
an actress?
'Cause
that
she's a good
kind
good
of has
actress.
an accent. It's like you have a
They do that in
million
the
actresses
Fosters.
in
choose
LA.
from.
The Fosters, the lead actress, I'm blanking
Yeah,
on her name,
Maya
but she's
Mitchell,
well,
she's
yeah.
Australian.
She owns it.
Yeah.
I mean, she like I don't.
No,
sense
she,
her
you can
accent.
hear her
You can
accent
hear her
sometimes.
accent. She's
Really?
supposed to
Yeah.
have
Anyways,
a,
wrong show.
okay.
Different
Wrong
after
show, sorry, sorry.
Different after show. Back to Sara Harvey. Like, she is a freak, you guys, and I 100% believe she is lying about her family.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
You
I
guys, she
agree.
is straight up lying. Like, I honestly, that whole running away, I believe she never went home. I don't think she ever went home.
Someone on Twitter said, I wonder if she's actually Bethany and she's pretending to be
Sarah?
Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, someone has to be in that grave.
Yeah,
Whether it's Sarah,
yeah.
Bethany, God, who knows?
Yeah, but she is so freaking weird.
She's
Like
so
everything
weird.
about, I almost hate her. Is that terrible? Like,
No,
I, kind
I
of hate her
don't
a
really
little
like
bit.
her. She's
Like,
annoying.
She's like stealing Emily's clothes. Like, wait, can
I
you not
know.
go to school? It's like, no, Emily needs to go to school. All right, real kids need to go to school. Like you should go back to school. All right, all
know
kids
what?
stay in school.
You know what? Yes, stay in
Yes.
school. But you know what I think is weird? This could be just me looking way in too deeply because that's what we do for PLL theories. But remember when Emily was like, "Oh, we have some French toast." French?
What the hell
Like,
are you talking
Sarah
about?
Harvey's went too far. Not too far. Too
like
far.
things that are
No, cut it off.
from
no.
Okay.
France.
I think that
French.
you're just-
Too far. Okay.
Too far.
I get where you're going.
I get where you're going.
I get where you're going too, but I think it just happened to
could
be
have
the
been
breakfast food
pancakes
of
or
choice.
waffles.
By the way, do you want some
It could have been pancakes or waffles.
No,
but
it
it was
couldn't
French
be
frickin'
pancakes
toast.
because that would make it American and it couldn't be waffles because that would make it Belgian. It
Tomorrow-
had to be French
Shoot.
toast.
Or next week they're gonna be like, "Oh, Sarah Harvey, do you want some English breakfast tea?" And Megan's like, "That's it, that's it."
All right, really quickly, we should talk about Toby, Ali, Lorenzo, and Spencer. I was saying backstage that I believe that we are supposed to be trusting Ali more and more and more, only because if anybody didn't ever trust Ali, it was Spencer. It was Spencer. Spencer didn't trust Ali.
Right, I know, that's a good point.
And the fact that I feel like she's like rooting for her and she made that great comment about like second chances and like all this stuff, I kind of believe that like because Spencer trusts her a little bit, like that it's okay
Don't
to trust
make
her.
me
here's the
throw
key.
up. All right, just as soon as you start to believe the girl, I bet you any second now, boom, she's gonna do something crazy.
Well,
I
here's
bet
the
you.
test.
like run away again.
Here's the test, though. She now knows all the juice about Charlie. So if she doesn't tell the girls everything that her dad just told her,
Well-
then she's shady, right?
Well,
I believe, honestly, if Allie and Jason know about Charlie and all that stuff, if they know, right, and they're really working together like Mova's
which is
been
what I
saying for the
think,
past
which is
season
completely
and a half,
what I think.
right, then after everybody left, what would be their motivation to ask their dad about it?
Because they
Yeah,
want
it's
to
true.
seem innocent throughout the whole process.
Okay, but
and they're
Mr. D
stuck to
didn't
their-
have to know that they even knew. If they were like, okay, we just have to keep this up, why would they even have to talk to their dad?
I know. I get what you're
D
saying.
didn't
It would
have
be
to
weird.
know.
Mr. D didn't have to know.
Do we have teams really fast? I just don't want to not talk about Lorenzo. Do we have teams
Oh,
for
right.
who's pro Lorenzo and who's not?
Pro
Again,
Lorenzo.
I
Pro Lorenzo.
was
Lorenzo.
pro Lorenzo until he made he kept talking to Allie like this, like, yeah, girl, you kicked that ball.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
they were really
yo,
sexual.
Don't like, yeah, don't.
So
look at
you're
her like,
anti.
It's like you got the moves for it.
You got the move.
Can we
and-
also talk about who is the youth director that is no longer the youth
I
director?
know,
is a
they
good
didn't
call.
explain
That is a good question.
I wonder if we're being PLL fans that like are suspicious of everything, or if that's really
Whatever.
Gonna be a thing.
So many things happened in this episode that
You're
were
so
super
right.
sketch,
Yeah, you're
right?
so right.
The youth director, I feel like we should know this. It was maybe could have been Paige.
Did we mention the return of the therapist? Did we talk about the
No, we're still gonna get there.
I don't want to not mention her.
Yeah, no. Next, we have to talk about Ezra, right? Which we thought maybe he was being super sketchy when he was like, "What do you want to know?" We were so excited that he had all the juice on Andrew, and then he was just like, "I have an idea. Let's call the police station."
No, they explained that. Oh, yeah, exactly. That wasn't him.
Yeah, that was my
Just
whole
they're on
point.
the same page.
Late as per usual, guys.
Yeah, you guys just
Carry
we're all
on
on the
without
same
me.
page.
But still,
Ezra
I mean,
seems still super innocent, right? We all still believe Ezra's innocent.
Yes,
I mean,
I
there's a percentage of me that's
too.
still hanging on.
Me
but
too. Me too.
I still
Whatever.
think he's-
Like 4 episodes ago, you guys said that he was like Charles, and all of a sudden you had these long explanations about how he was like born on a plantation and like shipped off to live with another family, and because they had
We're a
so
little
many.
fickle.
Everybody go watch that Pretty Little Liars after show episode, because Megan and Stephanie had the most elaborate, obscure, absurd theory about Ezra.
But that was before Ezra like found them in the dollhouse. It was like, you know, in the woods and part of the plan.
I still
like,
think he's sketchy.
None of us knew that.
I don't think
thing's
he's
a little
A, but I
weird.
think he's like he just got the creepy eyes, man.
Whatever.
The creepy Ezra eyes.
He's not creepy.
Yeah, I don't
he's
think
hot.
he's-
That's
Moving
it.
on.
Let's not. Push
I mean, he
it,
could
but,
still
yeah.
be Charles. Like he could be.
Okay,
I guess.
rude. All right, and then last before we get into a viewer question is Dr. Sullivan. First of all, did it annoy anybody else that none of the girls asked her where the hell she went? Like the whole reason she disappeared was because of A. A had supposedly like kidnapped her. We saw pictures of her like gone. So like why wasn't that their first question? Like, hey, so like what did A do to you?
Maybe
Right?
we're missing something. Maybe they explained something and we forget.
But
How?
maybe did they
Let us
know
know.
that
Let us
she
know.
was?
Yeah, they got pictures and texts.
Oh yeah.
And what that was back when A was like super social, you know? They
But
knew.
but this is the other thing though, because this happened in like season 2. Because I was like rewatching. That was technically, if we want to get technical, that A was Mona.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have to like go backtrack now.
Yeah.
Wait,
into
Dr. Sullivan
Sullivan's
wasn't
world.
around in season 4?
I'm pretty sure that was because I rewatched seasons 1, 2, and a little bit of 3, and Dr. Sullivan happened during those. Unless
Yeah.
I'm being crazy.
During
No.
season 2 is what
But
you
you
said.
guys,
believe it
when
was
we
season
were
2.
all watching the show together when Dr. Sullivan disappeared, weren't we?
We were?
Season 5? No,
Myra,
maybe not?
Was she in season 5?
Were we?
No. No. Okay. Maybe not.
Okay, I don't
Maybe
know.
not.
I
Maybe
don't
I'm
know. I
just
don't
getting
know.
my mind confused.
I think at heart we were all together.
Yeah.
This was before we knew each other, but I think in a sense we all like
God.
knew of each
That
other's
was so
existence.
cute. All right, guys, we're going to
deep
be
quotes
right
today,
back
Meg.
to take some of your viewer questions. As a reminder, you can hop online using the hashtag PLLAS for the Pretty Little Liars after show. Questions, comments, theories. We know you have a ton. If you're watching on YouTube live right now, make sure you subscribe to theStream.tv and post your comments and questions in there too, and we'll shout some people out at the end of the episode. All right, we'll be right back.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are gonna be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama. Tell her go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome back. We're back. Taking your questions. Oh my God, this is not happening right now. We're gonna get in so much trouble. Taking your questions right now online using the hashtag PLLAS. You guys can send us comments, questions, theories, so we can talk about them every episode. All right, I have to keep going, otherwise I'm gonna lose it in a minute. All right, at the 7 Fandoms tweets, who is your top suspect now? Mova's like, Jason,
Okay, no, my
Allie.
brain hurts.
Stephanie and Meghan are like, Ezra.
Because, no, my brain hurts from thinking about this. Like, I'm gonna weave in, okay, there's the trio here. I just don't know exactly who Charles is, but I know that Allie and Jason are our team. I'm sorry, I know you guys are gonna give me so much S for this, but I'm sticking
because
to my
you don't
guns.
know anything, but
well,
you
the
just
beauty
want to believe
of
that.
PLL is that literally none of us know, so you're wrong too.
It's true.
Hey, yeah.
I'm going to say I'm going to stick with the Hastings, and I'm going to say I think Mr. Hastings is probably, I mean, again, it changes on the hour, but right now in this moment is Mr. Hastings.
You really believe that Mr. Hastings is A?
Oh my God.
Bless his
Stop
heart.
bullying our answers.
You guys, like, let's be real. Why would they be? That would be such a disappointment. If Cece Drake is a disappointment, can we all agree? Like,
It would be a
as much as
disappointment.
everybody believes
But,
in Cece,
yes.
would you all be disappointed?
No,
I would,
Who's
yeah,
to
I
say-
really would be
Who's to say
disappointed.
that Mr. Hastings and Melissa aren't working together?
I
And
would
even
kinda
Ren,
like
you
that.
got like
That'd
a 3.
be so boring.
Anyway, if you wanted to know, I think Aria, just because everyone on the Twitter universe keeps
Aria?
saying Aria, so I'm just going to go with Aria today.
I honestly really want it to be one of the girls. Like, let's be real.
Aria
know, you
did do
do.
something
Okay.
tonight actually that was really sketch, but
Found the picture in a
No,
jar.
The
but
button
something
thing was
very A-like,
freaking
but I can't remember what it
weird.
was.
The button thing. Thank
She
you for
was
bringing
like,
that up.
she was like trying to get her memory going. She's like, I know I've seen that picture before. I think it's in buttons or jelly beans or something, because nobody would ever think to look.
Yeah,
in
you
a
guys,
jar.
that is so weird. And she said, "Oh, I used to leave Mike candy or Mike
hide
candy."
her
Yeah,
candy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
why they brought
What
that up.
are you
Yeah,
talking
that was
about?
kind of
That's
weird.
really weird.
Maybe to remind us that Mike is not
There.
like forgotten, even though he's on Teen Wolf on MTV.
You're forgotten.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, at PLLAS_fans tweets, if Charlie is dead and A took his name, then is Charles someone we already know who has died in the past seasons?
Can you say that again? I'm really confused.
If Charlie is dead and
Okay.
A took his name,
Okay.
then is Charles someone we already know who has died in the past seasons? You know how we were saying
Right.
perhaps somebody is working on behalf of Charles, trying to get revenge on behalf of Charles?
Yeah.
Like, if Charlie really is dead, which I still kind of think that he is, if he really is dead, then maybe we did know him, right? We did. But it's like one of those people that died
I know, which
along
would
the
suck,
way.
because I
which
really don't-
That wouldn't be
Yeah.
exciting either. Who would it be?
I hope not.
Like, it can't be
I really
Ian.
Frickin' the Luck of the Irish
Ian,
or
it can't be Smart
Detective
House.
Wilden.
It can't be Smart House.
Yeah, like, let's be real. So I don't know. I guess I want to believe that Charles is not dead. I want to believe that he's not dead.
Me too.
Right.
Right? Because otherwise it wouldn't be that exciting.
Right.
Maybe.
Moving on.
At Little Liar Army tweets, we saw Black Hoodie watching the conversation between Jason, Allie, and Ken. Does that officially debunk all theories of Jason being A? Mova's like, no.
Well, no, because they can still be working together. They don't have to
No.
like be holding hands attached at the hip.
I felt like it was very significant, though, the way Jason and Allison finally became like teamed together and became like the true siblings that they should have been this entire time, and stood up to their father and was like, "Listen, we want answers." So I think that was
because
so
they need to
significant.
protect their lie together.
What?
They need to protect their lie together.
Okay, but that just goes
Good
back
for
to
you
what I
for
was
holding
saying
your ground.
earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, good for you for holding your ground, but you're wrong.
Earthquake. That's me holding my ground.
I honestly, like, if they're lying thus far, and all they need is for the girls to believe their lie, why the hell would they go and ask their dad about it? Like, he doesn't
Because
have
it's
to
gonna
know.
get back to their dad, and they're trying to smooth over the lie with
But
the
they
dad
already
too.
asked him, and he said he didn't know, so that should have been enough. Why would they have to ask him again? to
Because they
finish
found
their
the
lie
picture.
going?
They found the picture.
Because they found the picture and
Wait,
and
wait,
Jason
what are we
wasn't
talking about?
there.
I don't know.
We're
but
on the same page.
right
I know. Why are we giving each other dirty looks?
The summer of answers. We'll get them later.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's clearly no answers in that scene, other than the ones we'll find out next week, which is that Charles is dead.
Okay.
But
And
Mr.
that Jason
Dilaurentis
Allie didn't know.
But Mr. Dilaurentis said something. He said something because at the end of the episode we hear Allie go, "What?"
Yeah.
And that's all we could hear.
He says, all right, guys, Charles is dead and your mom is a freaking liar, bitch. All right, at Dita Ish, maybe, says, why out of all the girls, Sara picked Emily? Is it because she's so trusting of all?
Because she's a lesbian and she's a lesbian, so the two lesbians are gonna have the lesbian connection, and then the end.
Then that's the whole reason she came
You
back
guys.
down.
No, wait. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just
that
think
was such
that-
a bitch move of me.
No,
I'm sorry.
I just think that like they were the first to welcome her with open arms, and she wanted to get advantage of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's it.
this is going out on a limb in another theory, and we've brought this up before.
Does it involve
What
English breakfast?
if, kind of, it does, it involves a British man, kind of. What if Sara Harvey, aka Bethany, whoever this girl is the transgender and wants to go back to being a man?
Oh, that's
which
kind
is
of
why
cool.
she cut off hair. Not,
Wait, is the
not the
trans-
truth. Not the truth.
No,
I
but
just
it
had
could,
to get that
that's
out.
kind of cool. I kind of like that.
So
It
what
could
are they
be.
gonna reveal that she's had like $10,000 Caitlyn Jenner surgery like
Yeah,
twice?
okay, too far. We're taking these
Like,
too
let's
far.
be real.
We don't know what's under the clothes.
She has a girl face.
Wait, are we 100% sure that there's a transgender?
No,
in here?
that was
like then why are we thinking that that's
that
a
was
theory
just
that
a
needs
theory
to be
that
fulfilled?
was circulating, and that
For
was
a
just
while.
me being
And then
half
Sinead's
right.
like, well, how much money does she have? It technically costs this amount.
Yeah.
Would she be able to afford the
She actually
transgender
sold her
surgery?
mom so that she could get the surgery. That's why we never see her.
That's why her
My
mom
brain
is
hurts
missing.
so much.
Oh my
right
god.
now. I know.
Okay,
me
well,
too.
you know what? We got through a lot for tonight's episode, and I'm so proud of us, you guys. High fives all the way around. We talked about so much. If you guys have anything you want to add, any more comments or theories or anything like that, and let us know who your top suspects are, seriously, and who you think Sara is, all of that good stuff. Why are you trying to talk to me right now,
Guys, we are
Steph?
looking at you all on YouTube,
Yeah.
and we love you all.
We
are
love you
running out
all
of
on
time,
YouTube.
but
We have
seriously,
to-
I've got it right here.
Yeah.
Declan.
We have to wrap it up. but-
we love you, Declan.
Oh my god, okay. We have to wrap it up before they literally kick us out of here, but we'll be online in like 5 seconds to like talk to you guys. Let us know your theories, comments, questions, hashtag PLLAS. Subscribe to theStream.tv and follow all of us, and catch us next week after the new episode of PLL. Woo! Hashtag Bitter Andrew.
All right.
Ready? Who's counting it down?
All of us.
For more awesome shows, hit that button and subscribe to theStream.tv.